Hey everyone. So the next step is to create our player, and like I said, because this is a pre-game build, we actually have our player sprite already kind of pre-built for us, so we don't have to worry about creating a new sprite. So we're just going to go ahead and click on it and then go into our costume. So as you can see here, we already have two base costumes. We have the feet or footprint for our turkey, and then we have the base costume for our turkey. Now, for those of you who might not want to use this space because you want to create a different player, you can just go ahead and use your select tool. You can delete the costume one, so empty it out, and then you can create your player. Just remember what kind of view you're in. So right now we're in a top down view, which is kind of like, imagine if you're a bird and you're looking below you, how things will look, and then try to imagine whatever player you want to be in that kind of view, and then create your player based off of that. And that will probably help you. And then for the next one, whatever your player is, you can just create a footprint for that player. So maybe you have a cat theme and you created a cat for this one. So instead, you can go ahead and make a paw print if you want to do that. Just make sure that everything is centered and make sure that the paw print is just a little bit small, depending on what you're creating. For those of you who are deciding to use what we have already here in order to create your player, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what you can do. So to begin, to add the wings to the other side, you're just going to use your select tool. You're going to click on it, click on copy, paste. We're going to flip horizontally so that it flips to the other side. And now we can go ahead and add the wing. Now, if you actually want it to kind of look like this, so you can kind of see the outline of it, you can leave it as it is. If you want it to look like the other side, you can go ahead and click on back. And then you can go ahead and kind of position it a little bit better, maybe turn it a little bit. Okay. So now that I have that, the next thing I can do is add the feathers. So it's the same idea. I'm going to copy it after clicking on it with my select tool, paste. I'm going to position it where I want, and if I need to, I can also turn it, and then I can move it to the back. So I just have to repeat that process multiple times, and as many times as I want, really, until I have the feathers looking the way that I want to. As a nice little tip, if you notice, I'm constantly recopying and pasting it. The reason is because if I'm still copying and only pasting this one, the feathers will only show up this side, and I'll also have to reposition it. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to copy, paste. You see that now I have to drag it over, then I have to turn it completely to about what I want, and then I can click on back, then I click on paste, and then I have to redo that all over again. Where if I continue where I left off, so after I made this feather, I just recopy and paste it. Now it's closer to me, and I don't have to turn as much because it's already been turned most of what I need it to be, so that I can reposition it and move it back. So that's just a nice little quick way to be able to work on it if you find yourself kind of taking too long creating the feathers. Once you're done, you can also go ahead and change the colors of it too, so it doesn't have to be the regular colors that you saw in the previous game. You can make this as fun as you want and change it as much as you want as well. So maybe I want to have colorful, vibrant feathers. I can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to quickly add some color. Okay. The next thing I can go ahead and do is create the beak. And for this, there are two ways. You can use your brush tool, and you can just go ahead and draw a beak. Close it, and then fill it in. So here I have my beak. Another way that I can do this is I can use my square tool. I can make a square over where I want the beak to be. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that better. After I made the square, I'm going to use my reshape tool, and I'm going to click on the square. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to click on a corner and delete it. And I'm just going to move that top corner towards the middle. And I can go ahead and extend it as much as I want, depending on how far I want the beak to be. So right here, I'm happy. And a way to make this even nicer is I can add a bottom dot and move this up. So it kind of has the shape of the circle of the head of my turkey. And it kind of looks a little bit nicer this way. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and draw the eyes. So I'm just going to use my circle tool, make this white, and then just add my eyes. And I'm just going to copy and paste it. Turn them a little bit. Use my brush tool. And I'll go ahead and add the pupil that I want for it. Okay. And with that, I'm done. You guys can always do more stuff to it, adding details. Maybe I want to draw some lines to kind of make it look like it has feathers. Maybe I want to draw a couple feathers on top of the head instead. Maybe I want to add a hat, or pretty much whatever else you guys want to do with it. But you guys can play around with this even more and really create the player that you want. And then once you're done, we can go ahead and move on to creating our code for it.